Hello to you all. Thank you for joining us here again at Mathematics Resource Center. And today we'll be just sharing another activity on multiples with you. I do hope you enjoy this activity and you'll be able to implement it in your own day-to-day activity with your children, or just for yourself, or with your students, or whichever way. All right. So let's get into it. So today we're looking at multiples, right? And we have two numbers here, 2 and the number 3. And we're going to look at multiples of 2 and 3. And we're just going to select numbers from here. And we're going to determine if it's a multiple of 2 only. So we have 2 only here. If it's a multiple of 3 only, so we have 3 only here, or if that multiple is common to both 2 and 3, so we put it in the intersection here. This activity does build your student for sets, for concepts that they will come across in sets. And you can use the term intersection, or you can just keep it simple and say what is common to both. They are still learning that skill that they will be using in sets. All right, and maybe they learn sets already because you might be doing some grouping activities and stuff with them, so they learn some aspect of that already, and they'll be able to apply it to what we're doing here. All right, so I'm going to start off and then I'm going to break to show you a little in between activity. Well, a little a side activity that you can add to make it easier for your child or whoever, right? So let's get into it. So you go ahead and you click on the first, you ask them about the first number here, 2. And you're going to say, John, which aspect, where would you put 2? Would you put it in this section that says 2 only, so it's all of this section here? Or would you put it in the section that says 3 only, which is here? Or is 2 a multiple of both 2 and 3? And John is going to give an answer, and you're just going to click, and it's going to go in the right position. And if John said 2 only, you're going to say, yeah, well done, let's continue. And then you're going to go with 8, and you're going to say the same thing. Where would we put 8? Which of the number is 8 a multiple of? Is it a multiple of 2 only? Is it a multiple of 3 only? Or is it common to both? And John would say it's a multiple of 2 only. And you just click on the mouse to move, and it goes into that position. Then you continue with the next number, which is 9. And you do the same procedure. And John said it's a part of 3 only. And you go to 3. Yeah, well done. You got this. So you give the little praises as you go, make the activity fun and vibrant, and just be a part of it. You understand? Give it a little life while you're teaching them. Let it be fun. They love excitement. All right? So we go with 18. And now 18 is a multiple of 2 and also a multiple of 3. So it might be that your child says a multiple of 2 only, or they might say a multiple of 3 only. But you're like, are you sure? 18, are you sure? And then when you say that, they might say common to both. And you go with common to both. And yeah, well done. You keep the praises going. So it continue with the numbers and you do the same process, and you continue, right? Uh, the pause now. Before starting the activity, if you know that your child might struggle with multiples in general and not able to to visualize the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 in head, or 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 in their mind. They're not able to visualize it as that. What you can do when you're starting is to write it down. So you can go ahead and write down the multiples of 2. So you say, okay, John, let's go with the multiples of 2. So we're going to go 2, and what's the next one? 4. All right. Or you might be a want to start off with saying 2, 4, 6, 8. Continue for me, John. And John would say 10, and then you'd continue and say 12. And if your child is maybe stuttering a bit, you just remind them, honey, we're adding 2 each time, or darling, we're adding 2 each time, or my child, or it doesn't matter how you refer to your child, right? Just make it be positive, calm, and nice, right? So we're adding 2 each time, and you continue, right? And you continue to add 2 each time, going down. So you'd have it like that. And you do the same thing for 3, 15, 18, and then 21, 24, 27, and 30. Alright, so you do the same thing. So when they actually have this all here, they can look at this to say that 2 is only a multiple of 2, and 3 is only a multiple of 3. So when they're at the 3 here, they realize it's only a multiple of 3. So they go like that, right? And then when you come to the 24, you can have them extend here 22, 24, and looking at this, they will realize that 24 is a multiple of 2 and also a multiple of 3. So 24 is common to both. And you say, well done, nice, great, keep it up, keep going, excellent. Remember to shower your child with the praises, or your student with the praises. All right, and we'll go with 30, and we'll go with 33, and then we come to 7 now. 7, and he might stutter, or she might stutter, your child might stutter. Say, okay, John, 7, and he says he's not sure something, or he might say it's not a factor of, it's not a multiple of any of them. You say, well done, all right. Or if he says it's a multiple, then you say 7 is not a multiple of 2 or 3. You understand? Or you can even point him to the list here to say, do you see we listing 7 as a multiple? When we keep adding by 2 coming down, was 7 listed as a multiple? No. When we keep adding by 3 coming down in chronological order, was it listed as a multiple? No. Hence, it is not a multiple of 2 or 3. Or we cannot divide 2 into 7 exactly without leaving a remainder. Or we cannot divide 3 into 7 exactly without leaving a remainder. Hence, it's not a multiple of 2 or 3. Try and use the mathematical terms as best as possible, and keep it going. All right. So we continue with 12 and 4. Okay. So now we completed the activity. This should take you, maybe for the first time, it will take you 15 minutes. Maybe for the second time, it takes you less. But you can do this once every 2 days, or you can do it once every day, depending on how you feel about the activity and the emphasis you're trying to place on multiples. But this is really important. It is a concept needed for fraction. It's a concept that will help the students when they come to factorization, knowing that 6 is a multiple of 2 and 3, or it's a concept that will really set that foundation for other topics. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you the background work, how I get this all together in hopefully 2 3 minutes. All right. So I went ahead and I created a new file here. I'm just gonna delete that. All right. And I'm just gonna delete this too. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and I need my topic. I'm just copying my topic, all right? There. I go to insert and I'm gonna get two circles. I get two circles. Good. And I'm going to change the fill of the circle to no fill. And I'm going to go to the weighting of the outline and I'm going to put it at 4.5, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this circle. So I end up with two circles. I press Ctrl D to duplicate, right? That word. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and change the color for one of the circle. So I make it that color. And I'm now going to go ahead and I go to insert here and I go to text box and I'm going to put uh, a little box here for my numbers. So I'm going to use 4 and 5 this time. And I'm going to go ahead and increase the size for 4. I put it around 54. Good. I'm going to bold it and I'm going to go to shape fill and I'm going to fill that with a color, the color blue. Right? So blue to go with what we have here. Uh, right. Hold on. Right, good. Now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that again by pressing Ctrl D. And I have my 4 here. I'm going to go ahead and change the fill to this color, match with the circle. And I'm just going to press 5. I'm trying to use the same colors to avoid that confusion when it comes to the activity, right? To just focus on one thing and no confusion when it comes to the colors, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this, right? And I'm going to make it a bit smaller. So I'm going to use about 32 and I'm going to go with my first number, which is 4. Oh, could have let 5 stay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to change the color to green. Could use a lighter green. Okay, pale one, paler. Good, that one works. All right. You can use colors, whatever color that you're comfortable with. All right. So I'm gonna put this here. All right. So now I get to the interesting part where I do the animation. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead to the animation tool up here, and I click on animation, and I'm coming down to motion parts. All right, so I click on that motion parts, the line, right? And it shows here. So I'm going to put my arrow on this point and I'm just going to bring it here because 4 is a multiple of 4. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this box. The motion path is already added, so I don't need to come back to this and do it all over again as long as I duplicate the same box. And I'm going to go ahead and put a multiple of 5, which is 10, and I just need to come here to this point here and move the 10 to the correct section, which is the 5 only. Alright, oh, I didn't put in these words, so I'm just gonna copy them from here. Alright, you can use the text box to put these in as well. So I just copied them, fitting them into positions. Good. All right. Well done. All right. So I'm duplicating the 10 again, and this time I'm going to put in a number that is common to both, which would be 20. Good. And this for the 20, it's this line here, right? So I'm coming here and I'm taking the 20 and I'm putting it in the section that says common to both. Good, and now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this again. Control D, and I'm just moving it into place. All right, good. And I'm just going to go ahead and change the numbers. So I'm going to use a number that's not a multiple of either 4 or 5, which would be 7. I can use 7 in the previous one, 9. Okay, that works. All right, and I need one more thing, and that's to say that 9 is not a multiple of 4 or 5, so I'm going to add another text box. All right, so I add another text box. It's going to come right there, and I'm going to go ahead and edit it and say 9 is not a multiple of 4 or 5. Alright, so I am going to change the color to red, and I'm going to bold that. That works. And I'm going to change the background of this box to about the same green there. Good. And now I need to add an X when this appears. So I come to insert, and I'm coming to shapes, and I'm going for this X here. I'm going to add it right here over the 9. Good. And I'm going to change the fill to red. Good. Now I'm going to go ahead and highlight both the X by pressing the X, which is already highlighted, and pressing Control and pressing my box here with 9 is not a multiple of 4 or 5. And I'm going to go to animation, and I am going to go to entrance, and I can select any of these entrance. I'm just going to go with random bars. All right. So there I have those all set up, and we're just going to look at how it fall into place. So now multiples of activity just the same. You would highlight 4, ask your child if it's a multiple of 2 or 3, and they would say, oh, not 2 or 3. Oh, let's correct this. This should be 4 only and 5 only. All right. Yes, so let's go. So you're gonna ask them if it's a multiple of 4 only, or a multiple of 5 only, or if it's both a multiple of 4 and also a multiple of 5, which means that it's common to both. And they would say 4 only. So we just click and it falls into place. Nice. We go with our 10 and we just click, fall into place. We go with our 20, which is common to both, and after they give you the answer, you just click and it fall into place. And then the 9, oh, so the 9 was animated as line path. So we click on none, change it to none. So we change it from motion path lines here, and we change it to none. And we're gonna see what happens this time. Just go through it. All right, good. So when we come to 9, the X come up and it says 9 is not a multiple of 4 or 5. Well done. All right, so there you go. You have the idea of creating this activity. All right. And I hope it was helpful, and I hope you'll be able to use it with your child or children, or just play a game with your friend. All right. Thank you for watching, and until next time.